Hey, it's Raffi. I have a book to share with you. This is called Sky-High Sukkah. Did you know the holiday of Sukkot is coming up? And during Sukkot, we eat in a sukkah. A lot of Jewish people eat outside in a special booth where you can see the stars through the top, and that's called a sukkah. So I have a book called the Sky-High Sukkah. Think of how high the sky is. A sky-high sukkah must be pretty tall. This is by Rachel Ornstein Packer. Leah lived high up in an apartment building, overlooking the very busy world below. In the early morning, she would gaze out her window and watch the sun bathe the city in a soft golden light. Today, however, the city was pearly gray, and Leah felt just as sad as the weather. Sukkot was coming, and Leah had no place to build a sukkah. There wasn't any backyard, and no one was ever allowed up on the apartment roof. This meant that she had to go somewhere else to celebrate the holiday. As Leah was walking to school, she made her usual stop at Al's fruit market. She liked the way everything looked, so colorful, and Al was always happy to see her. He was outside spraying misty water on the neat rows of fruit, making them look like precious, sparkling gems. Leah stood quietly watching him. "You look a little sad today," Al said. "I was just thinking that these fruits would look pretty hanging in a sukkah," Leah sighed. "What's a sukkah?" Al asked. "It's a special hut that we build outside for the holiday of Sukkot. We decorate it with fruits and vegetables and sparkly paper chains, and then we cover it on top with bushy green branches called Sukkot. At night you can look up and see the stars shining through the branches," Leah said dreamily. "And we eat in the sukkah for 8 days. Doesn't that sound amazing?" "Yes," Al agreed. "So why are you so sad?" "We have no place to build it," Leah replied. Just then, Leah's best friend Ari ran up to her. There's Ari coming. There's Leah. "Check out my newest drawing," he said. The jagged buildings and the rooftops reminded Leah of a giant jigsaw puzzle. "The view from my roof was awesome." Ari flipped to the next drawing. "Look, Al, I even drew your fruit store." Ari carefully ripped out the page and handed it to him. "This is terrific," Al said. Leah pointed at the next picture. "Al, that's a sukkah," she said. "It looks just the way you described it, Leah. Do you have one, Ari?" "No," Ari shook his head. "I've always wanted one, and our roof is the perfect place for it. But my mom and dad say that a sukkah costs too much money." So Ari can't have one, and Leah can't have one. Later, Leah and Ari heard an announcement at Hebrew school about a Sukkot poster contest. The prize would be a real sukkah. Ari looked over at Leah and whispered, "This is our chance." "I can't," Leah said. "I have no place to put a sukkah. In our building, no one is ever allowed up on the roof." "Don't worry," said Ari. "If I win, we'll build it on my roof, and we can share it." "Thanks," Leah smiled, although she still wished she could have a sukkah of her own. See, there they are at the blackboard. And there's the Hebrew alphabet. And here's the sukkah right there. Ari spent the rest of the day working on his poster. I guess he really likes art. He painted a city skyscraper with a sukkah at the tippy top, bursting with leafy branches and colorful fruits and vegetables. When Leah saw the poster, she said, "You should call it Sky-High Sukkah." Ari liked the title so much he wrote it across the top. Sky-High Sukkah. Sunday was contest day, and time seemed to tick backward as Leah and Ari waited to hear who would win. When classes were over, the principal finally announced, "The winner of the contest is Ari Fried." "I can't believe it," Ari shouted. "Come on, Leah, we have a sukkah to build." There's his gold ribbon. He won. Hooray for Ari. Leah and Ari were eagerly making plans to eat in the sukkah every day when Leah's mother picked them up after school. "I can't wait to tell my mom and dad," Ari said. "You're meeting them at Al's, so you can tell them your good news then," Leah's mother smiled. Ari raced over to his parents. "I have a surprise! I won the sukkah poster contest at Hebrew school," Ari shouted. "That's terrific!" Ari's mother exclaimed. "The prize was a real sukkah, so now we can build one on the roof. Isn't it great?" "Yes, but I'm afraid we can't accept it," Ari's father said sadly. "Why not?" cried Ari. "Because we didn't plan for it. Our storage space is just too small, and there's no room in our apartment to store all the sukkah pieces. I'm really, really sorry." "Al, could you store the sukkah?" Leah asked hopefully. "I'm so sorry, I don't have any room either," he smiled sympathetically. "Wait a minute," Leah shouted. "I have a better idea." "What?" asked Ari. "Mom," Leah looked at her mother, "if we have room in our storage space, could we store the sukkah pieces?" Leah's mother thought this over for a moment. Then she said, "Even if we could store them, the Frieds live 4 blocks away. No one here owns a car, and the sukkah has a lot of heavy pieces. How would we get them all up on their roof?" "We could ask the neighbors to help," said Leah. "Then we could all share the sukkah," Ari added. When the news got out about the sukkah, lots of people volunteered to help. Some offered to build it. Others agreed to organize a special Sukkot dinner. Leah and Ari worked on paper chains to string on top and hang on the walls. Their moms bought some greens for the roof. Everyone's helping together. What a nice community. Finally, the sukkah was finished, just in time for the holiday. Check it out. Nice. Leah and Ari hung their paper chains and stepped back to admire their work. But something was wrong. "It doesn't look like my Sky-High Sukkah poster," said Ari, shaking his head. "You're right, it looks empty," Leah sighed. "I thought there would be more branches," Ari added. "And there aren't any hanging fruits or vegetables. The paper chains are pretty, but the sukkah looks boring without anything else," she said. "Well, at least we have a sukkah," Ari remarked. "You're right," Leah agreed. Just before sunset on Sukkot, the neighbors' excited chatter and laughter echoed through the hallways as they made their way up to the roof. Once they reached the sukkah, however, their chatter stopped. Everyone stared at the sukkah in amazement. It was spilling over with bright green bushy sukkah that smelled wonderfully spicy, and it was bursting with glossy vegetables and colorful fruits. And there was Al standing inside. Leah watched as he placed a large basket of crisp apples on the table. "Now that's more like it," Ari declared. "Al, did you do all this?" Leah asked. "I knew you were disappointed when you couldn't have a sukkah of your own," Al said, "so I wanted to help make this one extra special." Leah smiled. It was truly a neighborhood sukkah. She listened to her neighbors chatting as they got things ready for dinner. She breathed in the fresh scent of the sukkah and looked up through the branches at the pinkish evening sky. She knew the stars would be out soon. "You know what, Al?" Leah said. "What?" "This is so much better than a sukkah of my own," said Leah. She wanted to share with everybody. It was so nice to have the whole community share the sukkah. Check that out. The end. Do you have a sukkah? Do you have a Sky-High Sukkah? We used to have a sukkah at my house, and it had some fruits and vegetables, but it had paintings hanging too that my grandfather made. My Zadie Harry was a painter, and he painted a lot of older Jewish men with beards and big black hats, and they were carrying Torahs, and they were dancing around, because at the end of Sukkot is the holiday Simchat Torah, where we dance with the Torah. My mom likes to hang sparkly things like glittery stars. She even has glittery apples on a chain that sparkle. And because you can see the stars through the top, that's kind of sparkly too, and it looks very pretty. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. You enjoy your Sukkot. I hope you help decorate a sukkah somewhere, even if you don't have one at home. Usually you can help decorate one at a Hebrew school or at a temple or at a shul. And it would be like this one, a community sukkah where people can all share together and they all can help. Bye.